Hey guys, thanks for coming. It's Jeff here. Today I'm going to be reading out of Matthew 5, chapter 1 through chapter 12. These are the Beatitudes. I know I mentioned them in one of my other videos, so I'm going to go over them today. So let's jump right into it, shall we? Chapter 5, verse 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into the mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came upon him. And he opened his mouth, and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Verse 12. Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven, for so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So, quite a bit there. I'll break it down verse by verse, and don't mind, I got some notes. I had to write some stuff down because some of these words are big words and a little confusing, especially for a guy like me as a blonde. You know what they say about blondes, right? Moving on anyways. So, we're going to skip right on down to verse 3 here in a second, but I'm going to talk about verse 1 and 2 real quick. What's going on here is, this is a Sermon on the Mount, and Jesus and his disciples went up on this mountain, and a bunch of people followed him up there. And then they're like, all right, well, now that we got all these people here, what are we going to do, Jesus? And so Jesus opened his mouth and then started talking. So, so that's pretty much where we're at right now. So verse 3, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Well, I'm going to go over blessed once, because it's in all of these verses. Now, blessed mostly just means from the Greek word that they used, which I'm not even going to try and pronounce it, but if you want to go look up the Greek word, it's G3107, and it means supremely blessed or well off. So every one of these verses, verse 3 through 11, they all start out as supremely blessed, well off, are the people, or are this type of situation. But we're going to break it down a little more in each one. So when we're looking at verse 3 and it says, Blessed are the poor, what is poor? What does poor mean here? Oh, man, come on. Alright, I guess I'll just keep my hand on the Bible. Alright, so blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Poor in spirit. Well, what does that mean here? Poor, basically, it means like a beggar in this situation. And spirit, I had to look that one up because there's so many different words that could mean spirit, many different definitions. And this one is G4151 if you want to look it up in a concordance or the lexicons and whatnot. But it means the rational soul or mental disposition. And a disposition is a person's inherent qualities of mind and character. So this spirit here is talking about those that are, they're poor in their mental disposition or their mind the qualities of their mind and their character and things like that, And some people aren't really sure. Some people kind of just like, let me put it this way. No one's ever actually explained this verse to me. So I'm just going to put it out there as like this, because the way the Lord seems to be revealing it to me is that it's like people that are poor in spirit with a mental disposition is more like somebody that might be mentally handicapped or something. Someone that can't necessarily grasp all the concepts of the Bible, or maybe someone that's not all there, basically. And there could be mental disorders, or there could be even physical things that cause someone to not be able to, think clearly, or not even be there all the way, So this verse is just, blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. And of course, kingdom, that's just a realm, and of heaven, that's the skies, in this particular one they talk about sky, but it's also referring to the celestial heaven that God, where God's kingdom is. So, yeah. Moving on to verse 4. Blessed are they that Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Well, mourning is grieving, pretty much, and blessed are they that mourn, they will be comforted. Well, what does it mean to be comforted in this verse? That means to call near, desire, be of good comfort. So, blessed are they that mourn. The ones that grieve, God's going to come to you. He's going to draw you close, and He's going to comfort you. He's going to make you feel better. If you're not mourning, how can He help you heal? So, it's a good verse. Moving on to 5. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Now, meek, for years and years, I just thought that meant weak, but that is not right. Meek is actually an Old Norse word, myrke, and that word actually means, what did I write down? Soft and gentle. Yeah, myrke in Old Norse is soft and gentle. And the English decided to use that word in their English Bible for meek. So meek is soft and gentle. And I think that's kind of cool that it actually goes back to the Old Norse, considering that that's where my ancestors come from. But anyway, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Well, the gentle and the soft kind of people. The English definition of meek is quiet and submissive. So soft and gentle, quiet and submissive is kind of the same thing, really, if you ask me. For they shall inherit the earth. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means, like a father giving stuff to his kid, the inheritance of the kingdom to the kid. But the kingdom right now is up in heaven. But after the apocalypse and everything, the kingdom's going to be on earth. So that's why it says the meek are going to inherit the earth. And Jesus expects all of us to be soft, gentle, quiet, and submissive to God's law and to those around us in a love and gentle, caring way. Alright, moving on. Blessed. We are on verse 6 now. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Now, this one, do hunger and thirst. That's kind of easy to figure out what that is. When you get thirsty, you go get a drink. When you're hungry, you go get food, right? Well, if you're hungry for righteousness, what exactly is righteousness? And for righteousness, I wrote here this came from the Strong's Concordance, is equity, specifically Christian justification. And then I was like, well, okay, what exactly is equity? Because when I think of equity, I think of real estate. And so anyway, so I looked up equity, and in the dictionary, that one was saying that equity is defined as the quality of being fair, impartial, or unbiased. So that's kind of cool, I think. Yeah, I didn't realize that's what equity meant. Equity is defined as the quality of being fair and impartial or unbiased. Alright. Well, that's what the Bible teaches us what to do. The Bible is, in 2 Timothy, it tells us what the Bible is for in one of the verses. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but it's telling us that the Bible is here for us to teach us in the ways of righteousness. And then, like right here, it's saying, blessed are those that are going to hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Well, for and they is pretty pretty self-explanatory here, but shall is just, means will, basically. Be filled. What does it mean to be filled? Well, that just means to gorge, to feed, and to satisfy. You're satisfying your hunger, whether it be a physical hunger when you're actually eating food, or diving into the Bible to learn the ways of righteousness. You will be satisfied if you do these things, is what I'm trying to say. So, going on to verse 7. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Alright, I gotta flip my notes. Pardon me. Merciful. What does merciful mean? Well, merciful is compassionate. And compassionate is defined as feeling or showing sympathy and concern for others. So that's just, that doesn't mean that you feel sorry for other people. It means that you have compassion for whatever situation they're in, and then you approach them with like a loving manner, and you try to uplift them rather than just feeling sorry for them. And but then when you look at mercy, what is mercy? Because you got merciful and mercy. It's two words right there that are pretty similar. And both of them kind of have a root word that ties them together. So it's like mercy was defined as meaning compassion or forgiveness shown towards someone who is within one's power to punish or harm. So really what that means is, let's say I'm a king somewhere, and I got some people that are in the dungeon because they broke my laws or whatever. I can either be mean and torture them and do bad things to them, or I can be merciful and feed them and treat them gently, treat them well as a prisoner, so to speak, and not really harm them, just treat them well, instead of like torturing them for for the simple reason that they stole a loaf of bread. Stealing a loaf of bread, for example, like back in the day, if you stole, they would cut your hand off back in pre-Roman times. They may have even still done that in Rome, some, but back in the Bible times, they would cut your hand off if you started stealing. Keep stealing and you're gonna lose both your hands. Like, ooh, it's pretty rough back then. So they were saying to show mercy. Merciful is someone that can show compassion for others, and those that will receive mercy are the ones that are in a position that are being oppressed, basically. Alright, I'm going to move on to verse 8 now. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Well, pure simply just means clean. It's nice and clean. No dirt. And the heart in this position is the figurative heart of your thoughts and feelings of the mind. So it's not your physical one down here, it's the one up here. That's what they're talking about. The conscious mind, of how you think. So blessed are the pure in heart, which means you got a clean heart, you got a clean mind, you think good things instead of bad things, and we can all give examples of bad things not to think about, but that makes us think about them, honestly, and talk about them. So it's like, we're not supposed to think about the bad things, so we'll just moving on that one. Blessed are the peacemakers, close enough, but not really. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Well, what's a peacemaker? Someone who makes peace. That's like the go-to for a lot of people. And so I decided to look that one up a little more. Actually, I didn't look that one up. I just just wrote self-explanatory. Verse 9 is kind of self-explanatory, really, if you think about it. Blessed are the peacemakers. A peacemaker is someone that they strive to bring peace to an area. Instead of going into a situation guns blazing, they go in trying to figure out how can we avoid a battle, how can we avoid war, how can we avoid violence, different things like that. That's what it means to be a peacemaker. You're someone that goes and tries to make peace rather than make war. So, blessed are those who are peacemakers. And they will be called the children of God. And Jesus calls all of us to be peacemakers. Alright? Christians are called the children of God, or the body of Christ. When we get saved, we become part of the body of Christ. So that makes, and with like the marriage and everything that, with Jesus and the marriage, he's the groom and we're the bride as the Christians, that's just a family coming together. And if we're going to be part of his family, guys, we got to be peacemakers. Not out there making war, not out there getting on people's nerves because we're like, you're wrong, that's not right, don't do that. You see that stuff on Facebook all the time. And we really need to stop that, honestly, because that's not making peace. It's not making peace. You're causing other people to trip up. And when you cause someone to trip, anger might set out. And when the anger sets out, you lose, your mind gets clouded. And your mind is no longer clear. It's no longer pure when you're angry. Alright, so we're going to move on to verse 10 now. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteous' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Well, that one sounds a little confusing if you ask me. Blessed are they which are persecuted. Well, we kind of went over, did I go over persecuted already? No, I haven't gone over that one yet. Okay, so persecuted in this one is subject someone to hostility and ill treatment, especially of their race, sex, or even political belief. So, persecution nowadays they call it discrimination. We got some anti-discrimination laws in the workplace and things like that. I'm sure some of you guys know of those laws and whatnot, and those are pretty much what we're talking about here in verse 10 when it refers to persecution. It is holding somebody down, for illegitimate reasons based on solely on where they come from in the world, or maybe they got a funny accent, so you make fun of them because they got a funny accent, stuff like that. That's persecuting someone, for righteous sake. So, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. Well, of course, there's that righteousness again, and righteousness is just, it's the, how did I write down for righteousness again? I can't remember. Well, righteousness is like the ways of upright, true, good, not bad. I thought I wrote it down. Look at my notes here for a second. Where'd it go? I need to go back to page 1, I guess. Yeah, righteousness. I'll go over it again. Righteousness. The equity. Think equity, Christian justification. Righteousness is being fair and impartial. Righteousness is being fair and impartial. So, those of us that are Christians, there's going to be times where we're going to get persecuted for being the nice guy. It just happens. You try to be nice and someone's in a bad mood and they chop your head off for no reason, That's getting persecuted for righteousness. You go into, it's like when I used to work at Walmart for years, I'd see a customer walking by and I'd be like, hey, can I help you find anything? And they'd look at me and be like, get away from me, I don't want to talk to you. And I was like, what? Oh, okay, fine. You didn't have to, say it like that. You could have just been like, no, I'm fine, and then just, walk away, But then there was other people that would say some really messed up things to me when I worked at Walmart, just because I apparently came into their bubble, when in reality they walked into my bubble because I was working in that aisle before they even came down that aisle. You know what I mean? It's like, and so you got to be be careful not to like get angry or offended when people say things to you, because once you lose control of your emotions because of something that someone said, it just spirals out of control. Honestly, that's happened too much in my life. Getting mad because of something somebody said, that always put me in a bad place, and I don't want to do that anymore. But yeah, blessed are they which are persecuted for righteous sake. All right, if you're being nice, impartial, and caring about somebody, and they persecute you, and they start being mean to you because you're being nice to them, that's what we're talking about here, basically. And those people, the people that get persecuted for their righteousness, are the ones that are going to heaven. That's what they're talking about here. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Those who get persecuted for being righteous, they're going to go to heaven, according to this verse. Now, granted, that also, you got to be saved, born again, before this actually has any play on it. Of course, you got to be saved to make it to heaven, because through by grace alone are we saved, through faith in Jesus' resurrection. And also, no sin can enter heaven, no flesh can enter heaven, okay? And sin is of the flesh. So the only way to get to heaven is through Jesus and accepting him into your heart. But once you've accepted him into your heart, you can be studying the Bible, learning the ways of righteousness, and practicing what Jesus actually teaches. So you're going to be righteous, so you're going to get into heaven. And if you have moments where you say something stupid and you slip up and you're not righteous, it's okay. God will forgive you. You just got to ask. So, we're going to move on to verse 11. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and I'm dyslexic. Let me try this one again. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say a manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. There we go. Alright, so there's that persecute again. That's getting, basically someone trying to tear you down for no reason, for a discrimination. They're persecuting you based on your religion, or based on whether you're being a nice guy or not, and things like that. But yeah, blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you. What does revile mean? That's what I missed. Revile means to defame, rail at, chide, taunt, criticize, in observance of, in an abusive or angrily insulting way. Yes, revile. Revile means to defame, chide, taunt, criticize in an abusive or angrily insulting way. Which would be the customers at Walmart that are really hard to deal with. We'll just say those are examples of someone that is reviling you. For those of us who have worked retail, you've seen it. You know what I'm talking about. So, let's see here. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Well, it says here that they're going to say all kinds of things that are evil against you, and they're going to be fake. The things that they're saying about you are fake, and they're evil. Well, you'll be blessed. You'll be blessed if you endure the false accusations and stay true to God. He's going to bless you. Alright? Rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted the prophets which were before you. And on this one here, he's just saying, rejoice and be super happy, for your reward is going to be great. It's going to be big in heaven. You're going to have a big reward in heaven. Why? Because you endured. If you follow these blesseds, these Beatitudes, if you follow them, you're going to be rewarded in heaven. And Jesus is telling us here that we should be rejoicing and super happy because our reward's going to be big up there in heaven. There's going to be a big reward. All right? Why did he mention the prophets, though? For so persecuted the prophets were, or which were before you. He's saying here, my prophets did it. You can do it too. They came before you. They were persecuted. They made it through the persecution, and they're now in heaven. That's an example. He's using the prophets as an example of what's going to happen if you do what God says. And Jesus is telling you what to do right here with the blessed bees, or the Beatitudes, you know. So, do what he says, guys, and you'll be alright. Y'all stay safe out there. Thanks for watching. Drop a comment in the likes, or drop a comment, like the video if you liked what I had to say, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for stopping by, guys. God bless y'all.